The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
We ain't playing the bad Mama Jama. Hey, it's your girl Kim, and yes, this is the Regina Sunshine Show, and I am guest co-hosting for Miss Sunshine. You know, it is the Curvy week, the Curvy Confident week, and you know, she is running like a Hebrew this week, so we had to step in and help our girl out. So you got your girl Kandie, and we also got co-hosting my boy,
Monk ATL.
all right, and we going to get it crunk up in here in a few seconds, so we'll be right back. Make sure you sitting down because we got a lot of stuff for you today.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, motivational speaker, author, and talk show host. I am passionate about helping others to live their best life. I call it getting a Regina Sunshine state of mind. I'm the host of the Regina Sunshine Show. It airs every Monday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on instinctradio.net, where again you will find me helping others to live their best life. It is my goal always to leave you better than I found you and to help you to understand that it's not over till you win. And if you hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. Make sure to follow me on Facebook.com under Regina Sunshine Robinson and also on my website, reginasunshine.com. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
And we're back. And so you already know this week is a Regina Sunshine week. I'm telling you, my girl Regina is going to be off the chain this week. So let's tell you what's going on with Miss Regina this week. The first event this week will be tomorrow. It's the inaugural event. It's the Regina Sunshine Curvy and Confident Empowerment Week. Just remember that. It kicks off tomorrow, November the 14th at 7 p.m. with the 4 queens of spoken word, Tamika, Georgia Me, Harper, Rewop, Journey Poetess, and Nikki Gray, sharing all of their gifts for you. The tickets are $7 in advance and $10 at the door. You can get your tickets at what in the world? Eventbrite. That's just Eventbrite. That's too many. Oh, woo, goodness. Okay, and then we Reginald Brown and J.R. Crickets on 866 Martin Luther King has graciously partnered with Regina to be the host venue for a Tuesday to Friday event. So it's going to be a very special week. So make sure that you got your tickets and just show up over at J.R. Crickets right across from the radio station, and you can come in and enjoy all of the things that's going on this week with Miss Sunshine. Remember, it's Tuesday through Friday at J.R. Crickets across the street from the radio station on Martin Luther King. And tomorrow night it is the inaugural event, and that's going to be the poetry. So, you know, Georgia Me, all those girls are the bomb. If you haven't heard them, make sure you come out and hear them tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Make sure, you know. So we got our boy over here trying to act like he not going to say nothing. Look at him back there chilling.
I'm being respectful. You know what I mean? I'm being respectful. It's a
Speak
give
up,
and take.
brother.
But, hey,
Speak
I'm
up.
excited. I'm excited. I happen to be a brother. I love the Curvy sisters. You know what I mean? So I've been asking about this event. I'm gonna poke my head in here and there, you know what I mean, and get a glimpse of the festivities. But I'm definitely proud of Miss Regina Sunshine. I've known her for a while. She's an amazing woman, very, very powerful. Now, I'm just happy, and I'm happy to see her get all of the collective energy together to pull off such a massive event. And I hope it catapults her into the next realm, you know what I mean, of success and prosperity. So, but I'm also looking forward to seeing some of the curvy ladies, though.
Yeah, I call Miss Regina the Oprah of Instinct. She is the bomb. She does everything. If you are not following her, make sure you go out and follow her
She
on
is
everything.
A movement. Yeah,
she is a movement
she's a
within
movement
herself.
within herself.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, I appreciate her reaching out to me and letting me help her out when she need a couple of minutes to run around and do some more stuff for the stuff that's going on this week.
Thank you, Miss Sunshine. Thank you,
So,
Miss Sunshine, for the
yes,
invite. It's a pleasure and an honor to feel here on your show.
Yeah, and then I got to meet my boy,
Mr.
Cool Breeze. That's his new nickname.
Hey,
Cool Breeze.
I was
Got
deciding on the button. I said, should I do one button or two buttons? So I said, I'm going to do one button for y'all today.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, this is the stuff that go on in Instinct. We have fun up in here. We are a family. And, we got some great people coming out today, some guests coming out today, and you guys have to look at our next guest, Miss Sonya Gray, evangelist Sonya Gray. She has a book that she has written called Behind the Mask, and we're going to bring her up in a few minutes, and she's going to bless us with all of the things that she has going on. She was talking to us earlier, and I'm telling you, she is the one. So
brace yourself
forward.
Get your pen and paper.
Right. Make sure
because it's going down.
Exactly. So we're going to be right back. We're going to get Miss Gray to come on up here, and we'll be right back in 2 minutes.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, and they call me the Affirmation Queen. Why am I called the Affirmation Queen? Because I'm a big believer that if you change the way you speak, you'll change the way you think, and you'll change the circumstances in your life. So start today speaking words of life over you and your circumstances, and see if everything doesn't begin to line up with those things that you are speaking. And I want to leave you with these parting thoughts. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. And take with you my personal motto. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning. Hi, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, bringing you the Regina Sunshine Show, my version of midday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuning into the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is Instinct Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
And we're back, and we have the lovely evangelist Sonya Gray with us. And Miss Sonya, you tell us about yourself. Mrs. Sonya Gray, I'm sorry.
Well, I am twice rape survivor. I was raped at 14 and also gang raped at 18 in college, left for dead. Had a stroke. I'm an author, consultant. Been married 25 years to my lovely husband. Just love working with youth and women, trying to bring awareness, educate, empower, and equip them to change their lives.
Okay.
Now you ran. That was hold on now. That was intense. First of all, thank you for having the strength.
Right.
To survive and come out in a sense, because a lot of people withdraw and they retreat and they go to what we call now, in the woke term, we call it the sunken place.
Exactly.
Yes.
But you rose above that, you know what I mean? So definitely thank you for being a survivor and wanting to share your story.
Exactly.
But yeah, we were sitting in here earlier. She was just like, "Oh, I'm about to hit him. I'm about to hit him with."
She said she was gonna hit us with the story.
So-
we didn't realize.
So how did that? So okay, so you said, and the only reason why I'm starting with this is because you mentioned it
Yes.
firsthand. So how did those traumatic experiences, how did that shape your outlook and kind of affect your path to where you are now?
Well, at 14, I was date raped. And when I minister to young people, I tell them, when you set your cup down, and if you leave it, don't drink it, throw it away instantly, because I never have been drugged. That was my first time being drugged, and so when I woke up somewhere else, and my virginity was gone. The second time I was in college, and I was away at a party, and numerous guys violated me, and from that, I can talk about it now. I'm being transparent today because this might help somebody. My brother died like 5 years ago, and so I had a blood drive for him. And so when I gave blood, never given blood, found out that I had tested positive for syphilis. Well, syphilis was in my body for 23 years, and if anybody knows about syphilis, it's what killed the Tuskegee Airmen.
Right.
So 10 years in my body, it should have killed me.
That's true.
I'm about to be 50.
Wow.
Okay.
So God spared my life for this day, and to let somebody know, you don't have to suffer in silence. I wrote the book, Stop Hiding Behind a Mask, because for 48 years of my life, I wore a mask trying to please people, trying to be somebody else that I wasn't. And so that's why I wrote the book. It's going to be a series of books talking about different generational curses in my family. So
Okay. And this is the first one.
this is my story.
All right. Wow. I'm just still on the doctors took them that long to actually find it. Like,
Yes.
that is crazy.
Never had a symptom.
Right.
It's one of those things where when you are a person of color and you go into the doctor.
Yeah.
Glory to God.
Exactly. You already know the answer to that.
You have to pray that the person that you're dealing with really kind of upholds their obligation to the Hippocratic Oath,
Right.
and will give you unbiased
Care.
care and attention. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, as people of color, we go into these places and they just, we're literally a serial number.
True.
They don't really care. They just want to get you in and get you out. Get that copay. We were talking about that copay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I've heard. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time that I've heard about people having issues going on with them, and they go to the doctor routinely. And whatever it is, maybe this particular battery of test is maybe not covered by their insurance, so it's not even put on the table because because it's all about the bottom line. So once again, whatever is in you was put in you to overcome anything.
Yes.
Because if that, if something that strong, it took out a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Unknowingly.
Yes.
That's just amazing, man. It's another testament to your strength.
Right. In order to have a testimony, you have to have a test. So you have been
Yes.
tested.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
She is a couple of number two, a whole pack of number two
Yes.
pencils ready. Yes. So tell us a little bit more about the book. I know you said that you wrote it and it's about yourself, but give us a little bit without giving us the whole thing.
Well, I talk about the generational curses that I dealt with. Some of them were like favoritism. That one is true to my heart because I'm raising my grandchildren, and sometimes we can favor one child over the other one. So, and we don't want to address it, and we don't want to say that we're favoring people, but we do that. And so I try not to do that with my grandsons. I'm the oldest of 9, and people will say, you weren't favored, but I've had to address these issues with some family members recently because of some things, but. My mom, I love her. Well, I had to address the favoritism issue.
Now,
of her.
now, for clarity, I don't mean to interrupt. For clarity, your siblings felt as though you were favored over them, or vice versa.
Vice versa. I felt that I was being favored over them, and that's just me. That's my truth, versus anybody else's truth. But that's how I felt.
And as the eldest of 9, why do you feel it's because you would think with that number the babies, the younger ones, or maybe if there was just a couple of boys in there, you know, maybe they.
Oh no, I have awesome brothers.
Well, no, I'm talking about in terms of the favor. Is what I'm talking about. Because, you know, I mean, there's, you know, there's a family structure that usually goes in the. Did I drop a bomb?
Yes, he did. He did.
I dropped a bomb.
He did.
Sorry.
No, I appreciate.
Well, you know, but I know sometimes it's usually the oldest child and the youngest child that are the, you know, considered the favorite if you have multiple, because the oldest is the first. You know what I'm saying? That's your first baby. That's the one that went through all of the stuff with you, and then the youngest is the baby. Exactly. So right. So that's your baby. So usually the oldest is the favorite, and then of course the baby is the favorite because it's the last one. So it's usually the children in between that catch it. The first one and the last one are usually the ones that.
So just for clarity, you were trying to shed your sense of privilege.
Right. Exactly.
And, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm an only child, so I love to, you know.
That's why he want to know.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, it's important. I mean, you know, I'm an only child, but my mother had multiple siblings. My father had multiple siblings. But when you grow up essentially alone, you just inquire about how people exist or cohabitate with multiple personalities.
Right.
Right. And so I masked it for
Massive.
years, even with the rapes and the stroke. I masked a lot of stuff. I kept it in.
So, with you being raped at 14, did you tell your mom? You know, I know it's a lot of stories about people didn't tell anybody. How long was it before you actually? How long was it before you even?
Let's talk about it.
Right.
My mom and my dad did not raise me, so I talk about that in the book.
Okay.
My grandparents raised me from the age of 3. My grandparents raised me, so I got a chapter in the book called The Absence of a Father and the Absence of a Mother, how that can affect a person when they don't have their parents in their life.
Wow.
It affected me, so I talk about it in the book.
Oh,
You got to buy the book.
Yeah, buy the book. Buy the
this
book.
now.
Yes,
The
you
Behind the Mask. Get the
Yes.
book. We getting it.
we're breaking generational curses.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, because it's a generational curse.
So let's let's get off the book, because you know we talk too much about it. We gonna tell y'all the whole story. Y'all gonna know. You gonna buy this book. You- But you also have SR Ministries. Tell us about SR Ministries.
S&R Ministries, that's my baby. I have a girls ministry called God's Girls. I have a women's ministry called Moms, Motivators on the Move. And I also have a youth and family services ministry I dedicated in memory of my brother. You Are Not the Only One Youth and Family Services, where I work with the whole family. I work with so many youth and try to work and get them fixed, but then I send them back to their parents, and then the whole circle's back over again. They're still in the same thing, the same rut. So I try to work with the whole family to counsel them.
Okay. And all of this you do in South Carolina, correct?
I do,
Okay.
Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Just so y'all know, she's not here in Atlanta.
I'm not.
But she not far away.
But she not far away.
85 north.
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
Straight shot.
Maybe a couple.
Maybe a couple of turns.
And you can go on my website and book me.
How about that? She'll come to you for a price.
Yes. price.
Oh, for a price, yes. So, and you also have a church?
No,
No church?
no church.
No church.
I'm a member of a church.
Okay.
But I have a ministry.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's a big task.
No, I was just wondering
don't,
if you
don't put that out there like
Hey.
that. No, we don't want no church.
why not?
Do you mind if I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
So we're in the South.
Yes.
I've always called like where we are. I consider this to be like the belt buckle of the Bible Belt in a sense.
Yes.
So as a woman in ministry, are you making attempts to like do you want to preach behind the pulpit?
She
do
just
you
said
wanna,
that. She don't want to do
No, that mantle's not on me.
you
I'm
don't
an
want-
evangelist.
Okay, I get. Okay, so your ministry is essentially your story, how you're touching people
Right.
through what you've encountered.
I work with young ladies and women, for they won't have to go through what I went through.
Okay. So you do workshops as well?
Right.
Okay.
I travel. This is a busy week for me too. I'll be in Florence speaking on Sunday for domestic
So you're gonna be
violence.
back out in South Carolina.
Yes.
Oh, she said she getting out of here and rolling back up the road. Yeah, I be listening.
Let me ask you, so now that I have more clarity on that, where do you see the need or the importance to talk to the young men about their involvement? Because your story, it kind of hit me because I was listening to the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne does his Donkey of the Day, and it was an interesting subject because he made himself Donkey of the Day for just now realizing that he was brought up in rape culture, and what he was talking about. And I always knew about this, but I didn't necessarily have a term for it. But I knew, growing up in Atlanta, we used to love to go to the skating rings, right? So when you go to the skating rings, it's a crowd of people. No one's really skating. They're dancing. They're doing all kind of things, doing everything but dancing. And then every 20 minutes or so, you'll see some young lady being groped inappropriately, attacked. My friends call me a square, but I always had a soft spot because when you just know things are wrong. I never really subscribed to that, to the rape culture. So I'm not, I don't have a perverse sense. I know that it's wrong. How do we make the young women aware, but how do we hold the young males responsible for, so they can kind of diffuse these situations and not see everything as an opportunity to take advantage of someone, strictly to enact their power?
For me, I just don't see enough men stepping up to mentor young men. People always ask me, can you mentor the guys too? I'm like, for me, I can't tell a man how to be a man. That's a man's job to tell him how to be a man. So I just need more men to step up and be that integral part and a place in young men's life to help them change the way they look at women.
Now, I would piggyback on that. I would say that there are numerous brothers out here in the community that are working with the young people. I think rape culture is one of those things that it's so taboo because it ties into a lot of other things in the black community. It ties into the sexual assault, the molestation. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that we sweep under the rug, and we want to talk about being a man, but being a man is understanding that you don't have the right to control anyone.
Amen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
No is no. No could be no in first base or third base.
Third base. It's
Right.
No, you know what I mean. But we don't really talk about it like that because there's this bravado, there's this machismo, there's this ego swinging that we do as men. So and I think sometimes things that are sensitive, maybe some of the young men have gone through it and they don't know how it's affected them. They don't know if it's changing. Like, am I who I believe I am or who I think I am? So I think when it comes to young people and dealing with sexual assault, I think it's better to address it. You have to, deal with some differences, but for the most part, it's a culture and a paradigm that we all feed on back and forth.
It's generational.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote the book, because stuff that's happening in our ancestors, we just kind of kept it in the closet. We didn't talk about it. Now I'm talking about it.
Right.
Talk about it.
Yes.
Talk about it.
Well, I think a lot of times with the men, when they are taught, when they think that when you say no, they expecting for you to say no at the beginning. They don't realize that at any point during that encounter, the woman can say no, and that means stop. And I think that's the part that they really need some direction on. It's not so much so that she just saying no at the beginning. If she might have been a willing participant to begin with, but now she's not feeling right, and she's saying no now, stop. So I think we have some of that, and it might not be, but I know a lot of times when I hear people talking about it, they always say, when did you say no? Well, she did say no after they had started out, but now that they into it, that don't mean for you to keep going. She actually meant no, so.
And that's why it's important to look at it from both aspects and put everything together because so victimology teaches us that there's several levels to victimization. So you have your initial trauma that you experience, right?
Right.
And then you have what you do to yourself, your guilt, and your like the things that you go through. And then there's another victimization when you go to try to talk to someone about it.
Right.
Because you end up being shamed or what did you do or this, that, and the third. And I feel like people have the right intentions sometimes, but they don't understand you have to word culpability a different way. You can't bash people, but you can still hold people responsible. What I mean is you have to be aware of your environments.
Right.
And this goes into what you were saying about when you have a drink, take your drink with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clear stuff that's odorless and tasteless.
Right.
You know what I mean? What were you gonna say?
Well, my mama used to tell us that when we go, if you go anywhere, if you leave your drink, leave it. Don't
pick it back
go
up.
get another one. And if somebody bring you an open drink, don't take that. Always get a can, a can soda or something like that, and you open it yourself. If somebody opens it for you, make sure that they're standing right in front of you when they open it. Anything that you're drinking, it needs to be open right there in front of you so you can see it. And if you get up, use the restroom or whatever, when you go dancing, whatever, when you come back, if it's a drink still sitting on the table, go ahead and throw that away. Because you don't never know what people might try to do to you. Not saying that everybody has bad intentions, just saying to be safe.
Be safe.
When I speak to my friends, or when I speak to people in general, and they're going through something, or they have like some sort of adversarial thing that they're going through, I always tell people, never expect people to play by the same rules that you do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, just never. So if there's an opportunity, my thing is you did it.
Exactly.
I mean, in certain realms, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Especially in college parties, high school parties.
Exactly.
I mean, hell, now even that nowadays, men have to be cautious of this too.
Okay.
And see, this is why I say, this is why I say we can't be gender specific on this, because a lot of times the brothers are going through things that they really embarrassed to talk about.
Exactly.
And they don't want to say anything because that demolishes your manhood.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But we have to put these things out here, because when we put these things out here, we hold people accountable.
Right.
And we're more aware, and then we have a network of consciousness. Mm-hmm. So when I go somewhere, when I go out, I love my sisters. So when I go out, I feel like my sister's gonna be safe when I'm around.
Right.
And if we adopt that, exactly. Because a lot of times I see stuff and I don't see us taking up for each other, wrong or right.
Right.
I don't see it. Look, my mom always took up for me, even when I was wrong. Because we family.
Right.
So we're going to be family. Let's be family all the time.
Right.
Because when somebody else do it, you can't get mad when you're not taking up for your people. So I just make it a point to always give the young people something positive, but give them some game about themselves.
Right.
And don't just be out here wilding out because you think because you only live once.
Right. Well, you don't have to embarrass somebody.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You can always pull them to the side and stuff like that. My mom always took up for us. I take up for all my kin folks. You know what I'm saying? They right now. I might pull them to the side because they know how I am. If you right, you right. If you wrong, you wrong. I'm not going to embarrass you. If I see you doing something wrong, I'm going to pull you to the side and be like, now, you wrong is all get out. You're wrong. Just do better. Right.
Do better.
But when we went out, when we were young and we went out in a pack. So it was always at least 4 of us. Mm-hmm. And so when we would go out, we would make sure I was always a designated driver. So that's why I always, yes, I'm everybody's mama.
I was a mama too.
Yeah, so I was a designated driver. I made sure that everybody got home. I made sure that if we left Athens, Georgia together, we were coming back to Athens, Georgia together. Wherever we went, if you was going to go out with a dude, we was following you. You weren't leaving us. All of us was going. He want to go out. You going to eat after we leave the club? Cool. We all going to eat at the club, after the club.
But we need to be teaching our young men and women that now.
Right. But like I tell my daughter, somebody always need to know where you are.
Always.
And I'm 48 years old, and I still have at least 2 girlfriends.
Bombs on me. Hold on. You got the woman before you just hollering out arbitrary numbers.
Nah, these are not arbitrary numbers. Yes. Yes.
Just don't tell me.
Yeah, but somebody need to right. But people always get you because nobody knows where you are. Nobody has any idea of what you're doing, who you're doing it with. At least 1 or 2 of my girlfriends know exactly who I'm out with. They had a telephone number, the name, the address. I even take a screenshot of the tag on the car, whatever.
Exactly.
So that way, and I even take pictures. I have a girlfriend. She understands exactly what I'm doing when I take a picture. I take a picture, and I take a picture so they can see my surroundings. So that way you can see that this was the name of the place, So now you got something you can show the cop. This is where she was at. So you have to be mindful of your surroundings as well. You never give somebody else control of your situation. You have to always control it. So, but oh my God, I'm getting the book. I'm getting the book because I got to read about this, because this right here, oh my God, you have went through a lot, and you came through it. So thank God for that.
Yes. Feeling good too.
Oh yeah, but
I see you with your prints on.
Yes.
I always get leopard and cheetah confused, so I just say prints now.
There you go. That way you don't have to worry about it.
Look, I don't even have to worry about putting my foot in my mouth.
Hey.
But you look lovely. I'm
you.
loving the natural hair movement.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I said, I was telling my brother, he surprised me for the Falcons game yesterday.
Okay.
And we were just sitting down. I was like, man, I'm in love with the melanin, man. He was like, yes. It is the most beautiful thing.
Okay.
So, thank y'all, sisters, for giving me something to look at.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk some more with Miss Sonya Gray, and we might bring in another guest. You never know.
We might.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Anything specifically you want to tackle?
Because I didn't want to tell too much more of your story, because, I don't want to tell the whole book. You know what I'm saying?
Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine with Living Like a Boss Man show, where we discuss business, occupation, service, and significance, giving our men a place to have a barbershop conversation with a friend.
You got the IG? You on IG? I just say I gotta check. Sometimes be like, nah, I'm fool with it.
They have all of that information on you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but we need you to
Hi, it's your girl Regina
Yeah, call it
Sunshine,
out.
bringing
Look,
you the
call it
Regina
out.
Sunshine show.
Oh.
My version of midday
Man,
motivation.
y'all
helping you
messing
get a
with me.
Regina Sunshine
She's talking about I'm
day.
49, I'm 48. I ain't talking to y'all no more. We ready. Any more surprises, ladies?
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
And we're back with evangelist Sonya Gray. She is really giving us some knowledge on her book. Oh my God, y'all definitely need to get out here and get it. And I want you to tell all of the viewers, where can they get your book and get in contact with you and book you?
Well, you can get my book on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.srministriessc.org, and get my book. My first book is also on my website. It's called Path to Inner Peace, and I talk about having peace also. So you can get both of them. You can also book me at my website. I also have a Facebook page. It's Sonya and Roosevelt Gray. And I also have an Instagram page. It's also Sonya and Roosevelt. And my Twitter is Preacher Girl.
Okay. All right. Preacher Girl. Preacher Girl is preaching the gospel to us through all of her trials and tribulations. Man, I'm telling you, y'all go get the book. Both of them. And when the next book coming out? Because I know you said you're writing a series.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing a series. And my next series will be on homosexuality.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
She finna tell it.
Just finna light y'all up.
Yes.
In Atlanta.
And
Make it a
South
pink
Carolina.
book. Let me stop.
And me and my grandson, we're writing a book together. We're
Okay.
co-authoring a book together.
Now,
All
when
right.
you mentioned that earlier, I was like, that is like a really, really cool combination.
Right.
So what's going to be the direction of this book?
My grandson, he's 8.
Okay.
I've had him since he was 8 months old.
Oh,
And he's tried
so
to
you mama.
I am. And he's tried to commit suicide. So
Oh.
and so we're writing a book on the colors of the rainbow by God.
Okay.
And he's an author too. He wrote in my book. He's got art in my book right now. So he likes to draw.
Okay.
And so he drew a rainbow, and he said, Mimi, that's what he called me, Mimi. He said, can you write about what the colors of the rainbow means through the word of God? So I'm co-authoring it with him. It's going to be his book, though. This is his project.
All right.
So
All
we're gonna
right. 8
talk
years
about,
old.
yes, 8.
So the energy that I get from you is that like you're very, very grateful, thankful to be here. But your energy, like once again, most people who go through things, they lash out and they have like they're very sharp as a defense mechanism. But you're very warm and welcoming, and Is your husband's personality, is it similar? Like, is there some differences between you guys in terms of just personality?
Oh, my husband, he's loving. He went through a lot with me, because when you come into a marriage, I never had a man that loved me like he loved me.
I'm glad you went into this.
So when we've been abused your whole life, and then God sends you that man, you put the defense mechanism, like you said, and I'm like, ooh, somebody can really love me. So we went through peaks and valleys, but we have an awesome marriage. So I didn't want to end this conversation with you without speaking on the importance of locating the right person who's in tune to your trauma, your energy, but in a loving way that doesn't make you feel like you are the totality of your experiences. Right, because he went through a lot.
Your negative experiences, rather.
Right, and I put him through a lot because I had been abused domestically and physically, by men. So he went through a lot, but God has, solidified our relationship. We're just solid.
So he calmed you down. You was a little mad. He calmed you down. Look, I got to speak out here for the brothers. You know what I'm saying? I was
mad.
Yeah, you was mad. So the brother had patience, and he loved you, and he told you what it was from a loving place. And you said, "Hey, I appreciate you."
Exactly.
Yes. Y'all welcome out there. Music Monk ATL. had
to go there.
She said he had to go there.
He did.
Oh my
God.
God.
I mean because it's not for everybody.
That's true.
Everybody's not built for that. You know what I mean? Everybody doesn't have the empathy nor the unconditional, they call it agape, to be able to love somebody through their trauma without you judging them in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
So, and I can also say this is why the next book's going to be about homosexuality, because I could have went the other way.
True. Because you do have a lot of people that have gotten raped and that they don't know anything else, but, So.
Now, Dr. Umar says,
oh, Lord.
Look, I did it.
He said, Dr. Umar.
Because the brother said it. I mean, I know he's very polarizing, but his stance is that I'm not going to throw out his percentages, but he believes that an overwhelming majority of people who end up going through things like this because they were introduced to it forcefully at a young age. Yeah. Now, I can't say it no cleaner than that. Now.
Get ready for the series, because it will be a true story in the book.
And that goes into the generational curses of sweeping stuff under the rug.
Exactly.
It's a method to my madness.
Get ready.
It's a method to it.
It's coming. Working on it.
It's a method to it. Okay, cool breeze. Back there shooting the breeze.
Hey, man, trying to. Still got this one button. Still on the one button.
He got one
button. It
got
serious, so I had to lean in.
Oh, my God. It is the Regina Sunshine Show, and we are here filling in for Miss Sunshine and we are
set it off this week, man.
Yes.
Hey, look, man, you just gonna see the hood. I just gonna see the hood in the shades, just photo bombing folks.
Oh my God, he's stupid. If you guys have any questions or just any question for Miss Gray, please send us a text or give us a call, 478-569-6474. Hit her up and ask her, because I know y'all have questions just like we have questions.
I mean, most of the time people are closed off.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you have someone that's willing to be open about
exactly.
it. And just, take advantage of that and learn something about yourself moving forward.
Right. And sometimes in order for you to get through, you got to talk to somebody that done went through. So make sure you pick up the phone, and if not, send her a message. She gave you all her contact information.
Yes.
She can walk through it with you, So hey, we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back with our next guest.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hi, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, bringing you the Regina Sunshine Show, my version of midday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com.
God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Back on the Regina Sunshine Show, and as you see, we have added someone. This is the founder of Black Power Awards, DJ Jordan. So introduce yourself, tell the folks about Black Power Awards.
All right, and it's my pleasure to be here. Greetings to the family. Brother DJ, founder of the 2nd Annual Black Power Awards, a celebration of black excellence going down this weekend, Friday, November 17th through Sunday, November 19th here in Atlanta at the Sheraton Hotel downtown. And, you know, hey, let's get it.
All right, all right. So what made you come up with the Black Power Awards?
How much time you got?
You got until 2 o'clock.
That's what's up.
Hey, I'm ready to pick your brain on this.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, you know, I said in 2015, why is it that we are still trying to kick in the door of other people's houses when we have the ability to build our own and pass that to our children and children's children? You know what I mean? And this was during a time where Jada Pinkett Smith and others were, you know, around the Oscars So White campaign. And as a result of not being acknowledged and validated through mainstream award shows and their talents and abilities. So I said, hey, you know, looked through my phone, looked at the 600-700 contacts that I had, and I said, we're going to do this. You know what I mean? We're going to do this on behalf of all of those unsung heroes and sheroes who do this work on behalf of our community every day and get no credit and no acknowledgement.
Now, Brother Jordan, when I saw this, I said it reminded me being a native of Atlanta and being kind of tied into the underground scene. Some years ago, I would say 10 plus years ago, there was a collective who came together and put the Under-Grammys together. Do you remember the Under-Grammys?
I remember that. I remember that.
Man,
yes, I do.
Okay. Now, did they only do it that 1 year at the Abbey?
I think it went 3 years.
It went 3 years.
Yeah, I believe it went like 3 years.
I went. I don't know if I went the first year or the last year, but it was at the Abbey, and it was. I mean, everybody was there.
Everybody was there.
It was beautiful. And then it disappeared.
Right.
And that was one of the moments when you talk about, I don't know if you're from here or not, but when we talk about the real Atlanta, we understand that there are layers.
Right.
But it was the underground current.
Exactly.
That was keeping that was really, really thriving. And so to have the Black Power Awards, and it seems to be a little bit more broad based, because that was the Under-Grammys was strictly just underground music.
Exactly.
So this looks like it's going to have music involved. Some kind. I see you got Rakim on here. You know what I mean? He was actually. I don't think he made it to like the top lyricist in the according to hip hop battle that they had, but he ranked really, really high.
Right.
You got Rita Marley. How'd you pull that one off?
You know, Mama Rita has been doing work on behalf of our community for the better part of 40 years. Of course, she's primarily known as the wife of, our ancestor Bob Marley. But she's made a mark for her, for herself outside of that. You know what I mean? And as a musician, but also as an activist and someone who's involved in building schools, not only in Jamaica, but primarily in Ghana. You know what I mean? Heavily involved in education. Yeah, heavily involved in education and, philanthropic endeavors on behalf of the Rita Marley Foundation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Man. And she still looks amazing to this day.
She does.
That's that we give credit to that diet. You know what I mean? In that cultural lifestyle. You know what I mean? And so yeah, we're making it happen. You know what I mean? And so going back to your question, I say all the time, at some point we need to have balance in our community. You know what I mean? And when you look at the mainstream award shows, the focus has always been entertainment. You know what I mean? And so while we know that that's an indelible part of our culture, that's not all that we're about. We write books. We're heavily involved in the sciences. You know what I mean? Many different things, health and wellness. And so this particular award show gives absolute credence, credit, and visibility to those brothers and sisters in our community who are at the forefront of science and technology of STEM. You know what I mean? And so while we have the entertainment, it's definitely balanced where people walk away with a greater appreciation for what we represent as a culture. So,
needless to say, when there was the hoopla about Adele winning, I'm a music head, so I know the moment that probably inspired this was we all thought that Beyonce was supposed to get a particular Grammy. Adele felt so bad about it, she actually broke her trophy in half, gave Beyonce a piece of it. It was a grand gesture. But Solange came back and said, hey, let's create our own institutions. Now we do have our own, we do have some of our own institutions, but they seem to be very, very segmented. So you'll have the BET Hip Hop Awards, you'll have the Soul. Now Soul Train is kind of doing a little bit more, but your concept seems to be a combination of all of those entities as well as the Trumpet Awards, the NAACP Awards. How did you find it hard to create balance within the content in order so it wouldn't, because there's so many different aspects of who we are that need to be rewarded, and it's a bit of unsung too.
Right, exactly.
It's a lot of unsung, really.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure there's a historical content to it as well, context to it as well.
Definitely, and great question. That's something that is a work in progress to always maintain that balance because we are such a diverse community. But one thing about the Black Power Awards that gets people from the onset is the name.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Off top. You know what I mean? And so whether it's good or bad, I mean, it is what it is because you can't function in this world without power. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, power is essential for life itself. You know what I mean? And so we were very clear 3 years ago when the idea came that it would have that name. Now, of course, it's a celebration of Black excellence as well, but it's definitely rooted in that activist revolutionary spirit of who we are as people of African descent. Absolutely. As we've continued to sojourn, in this country, making our way and carving out new lanes for our people. You know what I mean? So it definitely comes out of that spirit of revolutionary thought and activity that all of us, whether you identify it or not, all of us benefit from what the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey laid, from what Dr. King laid down, from what Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, all of our warrior scholars and ancestors laid down on behalf of us to pave the way, so that we can have a better life.
So speaking of, because that was the way you put it out, it was very eloquent the way you put that out. So I'm looking at the name, right? Black Power Awards. Now, I know this is something that you all want to grow and expand and take this as far as you guys can take it. Have you received any pushback? And this is a twofold thing. Have you received any pushback because of the name or the term Black Power? Because, when we have Black History Month, we always get the rhetoric, well, we had a White History Month. Well, we know if you have half a brain, you know why you don't have White History Month.
Right.
You have White History Year or existence, right?
You got White History Second.
Right? You know what I mean? So have you received any pushback in terms of the name with that, and to get it to grow tiny into Solange's thing about building institutions. How do we build institutions that are viable and credible and attract the larger? Because I see you got David Banner on here, and he not knocking anyone else, but he probably is the most notable current name one that you would see. How do we attract more people into the movement without them running to the VMAs, the EMAs, the billboards, the AMAs? Like, how do we build value in our own award system so we don't have to feel validated by white folks?
That and again, you're asking all of the right questions, because that's the reason the institution exists in the first place. You know what I mean? Because a part of what it is, you know, it's allowing us to reward particular behavior that we want to see people replicate. You know what I mean, in the different areas. And so it's a full-scale award show. It's a full-blown production like any other, you know, award show. However, it does have a clear cultural, political, and spiritual intent, which is to bring our people together based on the cultural dynamics of who we are as people of African descent. So we're clear on that. We don't compromise on that at all.
And we shouldn't compromise.
Right, exactly. And so while that may cause some pushback from the dominant culture, we're clear on that. And it even may cause some of our people to be a little bit, you know, uneasy too. You know what I mean? Because oftentimes we have assimilated into what the dominant culture says is acceptable or not. You know what I mean? So we're constantly kind of fighting uphill with this institution, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Because last year, the first year, we had to turn away 400 people. So we know we've tapped into something that people are ready for. You know what I mean? And of course, there's an activist wave that is kind of sweeping the country around, you know, with the NFL, Colin Kaepernick and things like that. So people are kind of coming out and being much more vocal and bold in asserting who they are as black people. You know what I mean? And in essence, black power. And so coming off of, you know, the Donald Trump situation, we got excellent momentum, you know, for people who want to promote the fact that they're black and they're unapologetic about it. And one thing that I find is the dominant culture respects you more. Like this sweatshirt actually scares more black people than it does white people. White people initiate more conversation, I don't know if you can see it, around this sweatshirt than black people do. Because they don't oftentimes come in contact with a black person who is firm in who they are and clear and is not trying to assimilate or be something other than who he or she was born to be. Right. So there's always a level of respect when you can look these people in the eye and have those conversations, even if you're going into business or what have you. You know what I mean? Oftentimes we want to shuck and jive, look down, not establish eye contact. Right. You know, that's that old slavery thing. Right. You know what I mean? And we get it. You know what I mean? But to be able to stand flat-footed on your square and be clear about what it is you're doing. We were offered about $200,000 in sponsorship money this year that we turned down. Because we're clear that the lifeline of this institution has to be supported by our community, period.
Ms. Kim, did you have anything? Because I look, as we're talking, man, like I'm like the questions are really coming to me now. So
this is how we roll. If
okay,
you got a question,
mind.
roll.
All right, so going back to the Black Power thing. Now I love the name. You know what I mean? Because I'm aware enough to understand what it means, right? So there was a group. I like to tell stories. Let me tell you a story. So years ago, there was a group, and we all know that musically, black people pretty much created all of the authentic music genres.
Right.
So punk rock, excuse me, is no different. So years ago, there was a group. There were three brothers, and the name of the group was called Death. Okay. Now they were out before the Clash, Susie and the Pixies. Like they were pretty much the forerunners and the creators of punk music. Clive Davis wanted to sign them, but he said, "You guys have to change your name." They didn't, and as a result, their story is a story that you have to hear about some 35, 40 years later.
Right.
Because they didn't concede or acquiesce to what somebody else wanted just to give them the prompt, the notoriety. So saying that you turned down $200,000, first of all, that lets me know that your value was probably $1.2 million.
Right, exactly.
That lets me, first of all, that lets me know that. So kudos to you. Yes. But the decision. So let's just say that the number has maybe like another zero to it. Is it harder or is it easier when you know that you have a platform And when I'm thinking about Keenan Ivory Wayans with A Living Color, I'm thinking about Dave Chappelle, and I'm viewing you on that success because that's where your success is, right?
Right.
Can you walk? I mean, is your structure set up to where you're comfortable with walking away from that and still feel like that you'll get your message out and you will be able to like create a larger network or a larger platform, or are you cool with turning down things that may be detrimental to the overall growth?
And that's again a great question. We had that last year when we got a phone call from the McDonald's Corporation, and we hadn't even had the first show. You know, right? The vice president of urban marketing actually follows Banner on Instagram, and so she called. You know, sister. You know what I mean? And very smart, articulate, the whole nine. And she said, "Hey, at the time we got $100,000. She asked us our budget, right? And she was like, well, you know, we want to support you. What is it that, you know, that we can do?" And so last year we honored Dr. Sabi, the holistic healer, right?
Man,
and I said, well, definitely,
power,
yes,
man.
definitely. And I said, while I'm appreciative and we're appreciative of the offer, we just can't have Big Macs and quarter pounders. You know what I mean? Right, exactly. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, you know, I talk with her. You know what I mean? To try to establish a means by which we could do something, right? Because at the time the institution didn't have no money. I mean, I'm funding it out of pocket.
It's really hard to turn down that McDonald's
exactly.
money.
It was a challenge, right? Exactly. And so at the end of the day, you know, they offered to bring salads and things like that, but I'm like, nah, the brand, we don't want the golden arches, and it's just too much of a contradiction for this model.
You would have probably lost more credibility.
Right, especially with the first year.
Exactly.
Right, especially with the first year. You coming out of the gate, you know what I mean? And so, you know, we turned it down. And then this year it was even more being offered by way of, you know, big multinational corporations, because again, these corporations are not afraid to attach themselves to this because they've cornered the market in so many other areas. So why not this?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So while Black Power may actually scare some black mom and pop companies, multinational corporations have no issue with attaching themselves to any brand that they feel is going to cause them to reach a larger demographic.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's chess. It ain't checkers. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, because they already own and control so much. And so what they weren't prepared for was a black man turning them down. You see what I'm saying? That's what messed them up. You know what I mean? And saying,
a round of applause.
Shoot, we can ring the bell.
Look, we need a round of applause.
Yeah,
The
that's-
brother
We can ring
said
the no.
yeah, that's what they
What
weren't
part of
prepared
N
for.
to the O you don't understand? I like that because a lot of times people, when you are funding something yourself, you're an entrepreneur, you have to fund it yourself.
Right.
And a lot of times you just sell yourself short because you need the money. You just take it from anybody, and sometimes you don't need to do that.
Right.
You got to stand on your own two feet and know your own worth.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So I like that. I
Definitely
like that.
appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it. And so we said, hey, you know, we know that we have a viable brand. We've tapped into something that is obviously positive and beneficial for our community. Now it's time for us to just put the word out to our people. We need your support. And we don't mind bootstrapping. The thing about our culture, you know, there's a Kiswahili term called isusu, where it's kind of group economics, right? And so the Black Power Awards is not in a position where it just write a bunch of checks out to people. That's not what it does. But what we are creative enough to do is to create the win-win. If you have a flower shop and say, hey, we will allow you to present an award, have access to the platform, can you set up some arrangements? Can you put some flowers on these tables? And we barter. You see, right, we barter, which is an indelible part of our culture. We trade. You see what I'm saying? Because people who are in business, they see what we're doing, they know the numbers that come out. And so everything is not about an exchange of dollars, but more so an exchange of relationship, of that spiritual energy that get things done. My grandmother, who's 95, she, you know, from New Orleans, Louisiana, her community did not even have money, but they were able to meet each other's needs based on what they grew. So nobody went hungry because, you know, mama so-and-so had tomatoes, somebody else had greens. You see what I'm saying? So they met up at certain times of the day and they just exchanged fruit and vegetables. And everybody had food and without a dollar being exchanged. But what they did have, what we don't seem to have enough of, is positive, healthy relationships in our community. And that's what we got to tap back into.
Am I wrong when I say that capitalism is inherently evil? Am I wrong when I say that?
No, you're not. You're absolutely right, because capitalism comes out of a culture, and now you're getting ready to get me on my on my in my bag. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I know you kind of reading the energy, because again, every economic system is based on social relationships between people. So I just mentioned bartering, trading, capitalism, cooperatives, which what I really support and big on.
Co-ops are probably the most essential.
Oh, it's absolutely essential for us in our position in this country. And in essence, every economic system is a social relationship system. What you see, you have a system before you have money. In other words, we have to be able to relate in some way, even before the money comes into play.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? If we can't get along, then we can't do business. Right. No matter how good of a product I have, you're not going to purchase that from me. You see what I'm saying? And so we put the money before the relationships, but capitalism incentivizes that type of behavior. So those among us, and I'm speaking specifically about our community, because capitalism works for the dominant culture, because it comes out of who they are. They're very predatory, aggressive. You know what I'm saying? That's not us. We're a communal people.
And egalitarian.
Right. There you go. There you go. So what do we look like practicing an economic system that's based on exploitation with each other that further exploits us? You see what I'm saying? So we call it the crabs in a barrel, but really it's the system that we've been put in, and having to operate under these conditions that are not natural for us, because we're genuinely nice people.
Givers,
right. You know what I'm saying? Even with each other, it's just the fact that we've been practicing the wrong game and, the wrong economic system for us.
So that's why, and I knew you were going to break down how you were able to procure, like your sponsorships and things like that. That's why I kind of wanted to start off with the title, because the title, I mean, it's so threatening when you take that type of stuff back. When you say, hey, we're going to have, it's almost like, and I hope this doesn't come across as offensive to you, but this is like the seven under.
No, 7 Under is a co-op, right?
Yeah, this is like the 7 Under of award show. You know what I mean? Like, you go in, whatever you take, you give,
right?
And you should actually give a little bit more than what you take. So that way, then it's fruitful and it's prosperous for everybody.
Right. We call it in New Orleans. We call it lanyap, which is my hometown. We call it something which means which is Creole for a little extra. So if you buy a dozen donuts, we throw 13 in there, little extra, little lanyap,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but that's who we are, you know what I mean? And so we have to be able to recognize the power in that, because our parents and our grandparents certainly did. That's why they were able to survive and thrive in some of the most harsh conditions.
Exactly.
My 95-year-old grandfather, I asked him, just last week, I said,
They both 95?
My grandmother.
Wow.
Now, my grandmother is my mother's mother. My grandfather is they're both 95.
Okay. Wow.
They're both 95, right? So, and I asked him, I said, well, what do you think caused our community to kind of go left? And he said, well, DJ, didn't you go to one of those big schools? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In other words, right. That's how he's like, well, you don't know. We let them other people in our business. We let other people in our business. When we were doing our own thing from our own perspective, raising our own children, we didn't have them in the court systems. They wasn't doing. When we started going left as a community, when we started listening and allowing another culture to come and dictate to us what we needed to do. You know what I mean? So now you bringing me to that integration thing and all of that, but that's also economics, because with integration,
there's no integration in the black power.
Nah, everything is all black. Everything is all us.
Very, very
every single person in the building look like you.
Exactly. Hey,
for real. Every single person, and there's something liberating about that. I remember, I've been coming here since I was a child, but once I really reached adulthood, I went into the Kroger down the street. And it was the first time I was consciously aware of walking into a Kroger, and every single, from the manager to the district manager to the store manager, looked like me. Exactly. All of the cashiers looked like me, and everybody in the store I thought I was in Little Africa, and I'm in Kroger.
Well, let me say now,
you see what I'm saying? In Southwest Atlanta.
This is very special, hallowed, sacred ground.
Yes.
This is the real Atlanta. If you want to know about Atlanta for real, like for people that's not from here, if you want to catch the real energy and the essence of Atlanta, like in terms of the people that look like you, come to the West End, go to Washington High School, go to the AU Center. I mean, there's so many different free things that you can do just to learn. Go to the Apex Museum.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
go into the Royal Peacock. It might not be what it once was, but the energy
It's the same.
is
Shout
still
out
in
to
there.
Brother True.
The energy of Ray Charles and Lena Horne and
Right.
James Brown, and it's all still in there.
It's
But
all
we don't
still in there.
absorb it
Mhm.
because we just want to ride over these things. We just ride by on our way to go throw some money away. You know what I mean?
Exactly. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk some more with our guests. It's the Regina Sunshine Show.
Hey.
Right.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hi, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, bringing you the Regina Sunshine Show, my version of midday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
And we're back. It's the Regina Sunshine Show. You know, she's here every Monday from 12 noon until 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are sitting in for, is me, your girl, Kandie.
And your boy, Monk ATL.
Hey, this is my brother from another mother now.
telling you,
I was
man.
saying,
I'm telling
hey,
you.
Miss Regina, I appreciate you. You have introduced me to a lot of people today. These two guests right here are the truth. When I tell you they the truth, oh my God. But let's talk some more about the family aspect of your award show.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a family-centered event. It's an award show that you can actually bring your children to. We have children performing. We've got a double Dutch group performing.
Wow.
You know, so we had to go back in a day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about these young sisters. They bad. Well, they come on stage and it's like they doing everything other than swiping a debit card. It's just like some of the stuff they do while jumping rope is just like the most amazing. But that's what we grew up on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's who we are. So, you know, that whole getting ready to jump in, and I'm like, I used to watch the sisters growing up, you know, in middle school or whatever, and they be practicing for hours on that double Dutch. We got the Nation of Islam children's drill team performing, and then we've got a whole host of, you know, hip hop artists, spoken word artists, R&B. We got a sister getting ready to do some covers to Nina Simone. I mean, it's us celebrating us, right? You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
I think we should do daily displays of Black excellence.
Mm.
Daily displays, just so you never forget.
Never forget.
Who you are, what you come from, what you're capable of. And you know, it's not just artistically, but I think we do the art so well because our bodies are. I mean, we just have that vibration, that artistic vibration.
Spirit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in our spirit. So, who do you want to appeal to that wouldn't normally gravitate towards the Black Power Awards? Who do you want to, you know, if you see like, oh, I didn't think you would like this, you know what I mean? Who would you like to see that you could expose to Black excellence in a way that that cultivates, I guess, like more unity? Because like I said, and I keep going back to the name because the name is two-sided.
Right.
So you're gonna turn people off, you're gonna turn people on.
Right.
But the people that you turn off, you know what I mean, it may be something subtle, you know what I mean, that you're turning them off, or it may spark something. Man, I didn't like the name, but I just wanted to see if you guys would want to be, you know, with your rifles and your fist up. You know what I mean? So who would you like to attract to this movement that doesn't look like us per se?
Yeah, great question again. Millennials. You know, those tech savvy, super creative millennials that tend to just hang out on social media. That's their life, you know, and to be able to offer them an opportunity to come, you know, around some walls and see people and to really build real relationships outside of social media. You know, there was a time, of course, we are all old enough to know what life was like before social media, and there was an authenticity there in how we connected with each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I have a hard time even understanding how a relationship can be developed on social media. You know what I mean? Like sending somebody a waving or whatever, you know, we do on there, and then that actually creates something authentic. I think that there's something missing within us that when we rely on that, so, you know what I mean? Well, we can't even, you know, we generation where we actually stepped to sisters, and had a talk game and asked for a phone number.
Well, I wouldn't have never guessed your age. Like, y'all, look, don't do this to me no more. Bringing people in here looking decades younger and giving us other information. But look, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest person over here. But when we did an interview a little while ago with Professor Griff.
Oh well, yeah,
that's and he my sat right there, and I sat right here, and you know, I don't back down. But I was telling him that technology is playing a huge, like it is probably the biggest factor in everything that we do. So when you look at the technology aspect, it makes it just so much easier. It makes it easier to be a coward.
Right.
True.
Yeah. Right.
It makes it easier to do things that lack character. You know. So my new rule is that and I have a point I'm making with this. But my new rule is if you need me for something, don't text me. Cause I'm not with it. Like I'm not with it because it can't be that important if you were just willing to just leave it to a text message.
Right.
I come from the day and age where you had to ask someone, hey, I need, like, people need to hear the inflection and the tone in your voice so they don't feel like they're getting one-upped. Right. They don't feel like they're getting finessed.
Right.
So I just want my little soapbox with that. But I'm with you when it comes to the technology, because we run away from opportunities to have a real conversation, and then people end up together or going into business or whatever type of relationship you develop with someone. And if you don't structure it the right way, and if you leave technology out of it for the most part, it'll probably be a pretty fruitful endeavor, whatever it is. But the more technology you add to it, it seems to be like it seems to dilute it. So, But as far as the millennials go, I think I have a theory on how we can inspire and attract more millennials. We have to stop criticizing them using the auto-tune. And we say, hey, it's cool.
Just let it go.
Bring your auto-tune with you.
Right.
Because there's this disconnect between because I'm in the middle. Like I'm like the first wave of millennials. I was born in the early 80s, right?
Okay.
So I'm still in my 30s. So I grew up having to listen to real, as they say, my people would say, real music. But then I also came in when technology once again took over and created different sounds. And created the opportunity to be creative in different ways, right? So I feel like if we don't alienate the young people, and I know we want to get the millennials, but there's a thing about millennials they never feel like anything that they do is genuine, valid, or acceptable.
That's true.
So if we say, hey, bring the auto-tune. Now, one thing I'm not with. Now, 21 Savage can make some pretty decent sounding songs.
Okay.
Future can make some pretty decent sounding songs. But when we have an opioid epidemic where kids are not waking up,
right?
When we have kids getting shot with handguns, guns going off in school, I can't continue to condone that sort of violence. Right. But I like the sounds. The sounds is what gets you. Right. Like that's ancestral.
Right. That's
ancestral. How do we so can we say that we're going to concede and admit the fact that auto-tune makes good sounding music? Can we say that?
We can. And I think we have to. And I think you and I think you have to tell give the millennials credit for being at the forefront. You know what I mean, of innovation. You know what I mean? And I constantly tell this story. I have an 18-year-old daughter, right? And we were visiting my grandmother, her great-grandmother, and she was singing Jesus on the Main Line. Now, we know that song, right? But my daughter asked me, what is Big Mama singing? I said, she's singing Jesus on the Main Line. Tell them what you want. And my daughter's response was, well, why won't she just Google it? See, there's something to, and she wasn't being funny.
No, because that's the answer.
You see what I'm saying?
She
wasn't being funny.
But
So I'm saying we lose when we disconnect from spirit.
Right.
we
You
know
see
that.
what I'm saying?
We know that.
We lose.
know
And
that.
so we
know
have
that.
to constantly, as we continue to be innovative and creative, we have to still keep that spirit, that drum, like you said, because that's what brings us together. That's what maintains the village.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can't allow ourselves to assimilate into this culture to the point where we lose who we are,
Right.
because otherwise we disappear. And at that point, we're done.
So how
You see what I'm saying?
So how does Black Power Awards not intimidate the young person who wants to do something different? They tired of talking about their sisters in this way. They tired of talking about their brothers in this way. But they have an art and a talent that's mainstream, that's cutting edge. What can you offer to young people or someone that may want to tell a young person to come out and check out the Black Power Awards this Saturday, right, November 18th,
This Saturday.
at the Sheraton, Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell them, that would attract them? Because we know Rakim, and I'm looking at Rakim now. We know him to be one of the great lyricists in
Right.
hip hop history, but he gets no love.
None.
He gets no love. So as a young person, and I'm thinking, my little brother's birthday is today. He's 28. So he's born in like 89, and there's some younger kids. They're not checking for Rakim. You know what I mean? They checking for Migos.
Right.
So how do we overcome Migos and get them? Because the music not bad. That's the crazy part. The music isn't bad.
The music is great music.
It's just we had, and one of my best friends was saying, he said that we celebrate mediocrity too much.
Right.
When we should really be holding.
When we should be celebrating excellence.
But I feel like auto-tune is the divider.
I
just feel like that.
No, I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from, and it's about. I have yet to be turned down by a young person, a millennial, when they're approached the right way. Oftentimes we, as I guess seasoned adults, we have this way to minimize and reduce the contribution and even the respect level for young people. And because I've had it happen to me when I was coming up, you know what I mean, from the old heads, so to speak. And so. But millennials are different because they literally have the world in their hand. You see, and so they're not going to, follow the traditional type of way for us as a community, right? They got access to so much more information, and they get exposed to so much more at an earlier age, for better or worse. You see what I'm saying? And so we have to be able to acknowledge their contribution, acknowledge their creativity, and say, hey, let me share with you about Rakim and play some music, because that's what I did in This Is It last week to some young people.
Which one?
And I said,
like 18 of them.
right, on Camp Creek. I said, now this is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Exactly.
3 generations. You see what I'm saying? And when they listened to the music,
right,
and they heard the lyricism, they was like,
wow.
Now they didn't recognize who he was from the flyer.
Right.
Because I asked them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know. But when I put the music on and they began to hear the depth of his words, that resonated.
Exactly.
And that's where we come in, because that spirit is that's life.
Yeah. Rakim will get your life together.
You sure will.
Well, me being from Southwest Atlanta, you know what I mean? The pinnacle to me is all things Dungeon Family out.
Oh,
yes.
Hands down.
Man, shouts out to 3,000. Hey,
Shouts
I know
out.
you working
Daily
on
shouts out.
something. I feel it in my spidey senses. My music monk aura is telling me that something is around the corner from Andre 3000. Hey man, it's coming, man. He's just talking a whole lot, man. It's just I feel it. It's just something in the air, man. It's something in the water.
I love
Not
the way
this
the
water,
brother moves.
but it's
I
something
really do. I love the way,
Scarface said he was the prince he's the prince of hip hop.
He
Literally the Prince Rogers Nelson of hip hop.
He's at a place in his life where he can pick his spots.
Right.
He's like, he reminds me a lot of where Denzel is in his career, where, Denzel ain't got to do nothing he don't want to do.
Exactly.
3 Stacks is at the same place.
Exactly.
If he gets involved, it's because he wants to and he
Right.
believes in it, not because he has to.
Right.
And that's a position of power.
Right.
So-
You know what I'm saying?
So I know you're not from down here. I know you got Rakim and David Band on here, but I'm just gonna ask you off the cuff. Where do you rank 3,000 in terms
Oh,
of
3000 is in my top 5, hands down.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm good. I don't need nowhere.
hands down.
I don't need
Now
nowhere.
I'm
I
gonna
just
tell
know
you,
that.
one of the things that one of the conversations that I had,
I was
you
gonna
know,
start simmering a little bit.
being from the South, you know what I mean, and being able to relate a lot of what Atlanta went through, because I saw the same thing in New Orleans. You know, just keeping it 100. The North never respected our lyrical ability until recently. You see what I'm saying? Until they had to, because hip hop started moving south. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But look at Crit.
Man, you took it out
You
my
see what I'm
mouth.
saying?
Did
And
you
there's
see the
not a
freestyle that he
conversation.
did
Oh
last
yeah,
week?
definitely.
That has put
That thing
him-
is legendary.
It put him here.
But I remember when Crit was selling CDs at Cumberland Mall. I actually booked Crit for a show about 7 years ago.
And at the same time, Flocka was coming out too. And that whole movement took off. The Gucci movement, even though Gucci had been around a little bit longer, but, you know, but the relevancy, that took off. But Crit up here, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me a minute to get on Crit, because I'm so into Dungeon Family and Outkast that anything that sounds like it, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna put on ATLians.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just gonna put on the criminal.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
my friends have been opening me up, and of course, I can't call myself the Music Monk ATL without being open to all different music, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So when I'm listening to that Crit, man, and I was just like, yo, this is what it sounds like when you are influenced by something. You internalize it, and then it comes back out, and it's something, and it's like you hear it in it, but it's still something totally original. So, hey, man, shouts out to Crit, man. Definitely,
Yeah.
man.
All right.
Definitely. I love Southern hip hop. You know what I mean? In that, because again, it's so infused with our spirit. You know what I mean? Where it hasn't left the porch. I'm gonna say it like that. That's because that communal value system, you just hear it. You know what I mean? Throughout the decades, it hasn't changed. Whether it's Texas, you know what I mean, New Orleans, parts of Florida, definitely Georgia, you get that. Mississippi, obviously, you know what I mean. You get that porch talk, so to speak. You know what I mean, where you just kicking it with the bros on the porch, and you having that conversation about whatever. So again, I just recognize that that's an indelible part of who we are, and I'm inspired by those who keep the traditions alive.
Is Rakim, is he gonna perform?
No, well, he may. That's the thing about rock.
I
But
was trying to set you up, but you ain't fall for it.
Don't fall for
nah, I
it.
can't do that. Nah, I can't
Don't
do
fall
that.
for the banana in the
Nah,
tailpipe.
I can't do that.
Don't
but,
do it.
But you know, ain't no controlling Rakim once he's inspired. You know what I mean? And so, one thing I do in order to give balance, I do give brothers up north who were the pioneers of hip hop. They set the tone. I went to a KRS-One concert at 595 a couple weeks ago.
I heard about
And
the
it
show.
was interesting because some of what I see and we see in millennials and how, you know, the dress and all of that, it was the exact opposite when we stood in the line to go in 595. You would have thought you were in, it was 98,
Oh, okay,
1998
okay, I
all
see what
over
you're
again.
saying.
Oh, wow.
No skinny jeans.
Right.
I saw more
everything was
Timberland,
baggy,
everything, you know,
wow.
bubble goose vest, you know,
It
Yankee
was hot.
fitted,
It was
you
hot.
know what I'm saying?
You put on the Bubble Goose vest. You wanted to look fresh because it was hot.
You know what I'm saying?
It's still kinda
And they
warm.
wearing bubble goose vests, and it wasn't even really cold.
That what I'm
They
saying.
just coming to
That
be
what
like,
I'm
"Ugh." You know what I mean? Just to let even the sisters reminded me of like Rod Digger, like, "Ugh." You know, Onyx back in the day. You know what I mean? It was just like, wow, this is really. I didn't even know they had those hardcore hip hop or boom bappers in Atlanta.
Only because this is why Atlanta is so special. You're able to have this in a place like Atlanta because this is the most accepting cultural place that you can be. Like for black people, you can. I remember growing up, even though I love Outkast and Goody Mob and just everything Dungeon Family, right? I know I've said that multiple times, but I still had all of the other albums. We didn't just cut everybody off just because they weren't from here. Right. So nowadays we're coming up and you can see the New York boom bop rap style. You can see because there's a collective that came down here that was accepted.
Right.
But we had to go everywhere. You know, I still get frustrated when I don't hear Outkast in the club.
Right. Exactly.
Like I
you
like,
hear
I
everything
feel
else.
like that should
right.
be the most dominant music, and that may inspire these brothers to continue to put out some fresher music.
Right.
But we're so accepting of anybody. Like we had our Eminem moment, we had our Wu-Tang moment growing. We had our Master P No Limit.
Right.
Me and my brother was just talking about that. At one point in time, Master P was king of the South before
Right.
T.I. was. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? So musically, on so many different levels, we just accept and give it and hold on to it for a while. When Outkast was really, really big, they still had to share the spotlight with the Fugees.
Right.
They still had to share the spotlight with Tribe. They had to share the spotlight with who am I leaving out? There's one more group I'm leaving out. I said the Fugees, Tribe. Who else? Who else was kind of prominent? There was one more, Mobb Deep.
Oh,
They had to kind of share because Mobb Deep had Shook Ones, Quiet
Right,
Storm, and
exactly.
all that, you know what I mean? That's that kind of filled in the gaps. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I like it, man. I like it. Like I said, I'm gonna give me a trash bag, a broom. I'm gonna sweep. I'm gonna sweep up. I'm gonna sneak through the back door.
That's what's
I'll
up.
be on the side of the stage, man. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. Let's make it happen.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take another break. It's the Regina Sunshine Show.
The
Beautiful
biggest station
conversation.
in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, motivational speaker, author, and talk show host. I am passionate about helping others to live their best life. I call it getting a Regina Sunshine state of mind. I'm the host of the Regina Sunshine Show. It airs every Monday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on instinctradio.net, where again you'll find me helping others to live their best life. It is my goal always to leave you better than I found you and to help you to understand that it's not over till you win. And if you hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. Make sure to follow me on Facebook.com under Regina Sunshine Robinson and also on my website, reginasunshine.com.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
And we're back. It's the Regina Sunshine Show. So if you haven't been paying attention, we have had some great conversations today. It's me, your girl Kandie, and my other co-host,
Your boy Music Monk ATL.
all right, and we have been talking to some lovely people today, and we're going to end up closing the show out a little early today. Going to let our girl drive on back up that road, get out and not have to deal with that ATL traffic, because she not from here. We from here. We understand. She'll be here all day. She'll be here till tomorrow. It'll take her to tomorrow.
Yeah,
No, we don't understand it. We know how to tolerate it. We don't want to. We don't even want to do that to her because she's a nice lady. We can't do her like that. So, with that, give everybody your information and how to get in touch with you again.
My website is www.srministriessc.org, or my Facebook page, Sonya Roosevelt Gray. My Instagram is Sonya Roosevelt. My Twitter is Preacher Girl.
All right, and
Preacher girl.
DJ.
All right. Second annual Black Power Awards, a celebration of black excellence. Friday, November 17th through Sunday, November 19th. All the information can be found at the website blackpowerawards.com, blackpowerawards.com, or you can give us a call at 404-439-1044.
All right, Mr. Monk. How can people get in contact with you?
Once again, it's your boy Music Monk ATL. You can find me at Music Monk ATL on IG, and that's pretty much it. Like, just don't be texting me, emailing me, Facebooking me. Just hit me.
God.
That's the new thing. I don't even ask a young lady for her phone number anymore. I just say, hey, what's your IG? That way she's not surprised when you slide in the DMs.
Okay.
Okay.
we have learned
That's
something
the part
else.
of what I was talking
That-
about
see,
earlier.
That's
see.
the look.
Millennial.
I'm old.
Like, at the
Millennial.
table. Like, I
I'm
ain't
old.
You know,
I'm old. You better get the phone
Oh,
number
but I
and
did-
send me and call me.
Yeah.
Don't
I
text
did
me.
want to say. Well, I mean, I try to be a gentleman, but they say you old. You trying to call? You trying to talk? Why you want to talk? You old. Anyway, Miss Sunshine, thank you so much for having me co-host the show with lovely Kim here. Look, we tight now. We tight now. You gonna have to fight us. You can't get your show back.
Oh, he said that. I didn't.
She didn't say that.
I did not say
But
that.
You know I'm just joking. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Anytime you need me, I'll be there for you.
All right, and it's your girl Kandie. Just like Miss Regina, I'm here on Instinct. I have 4 shows here. Getting ready to be 5. So every second Sunday, check us out from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Kandie Undisputed. Check us out the second and fourth Thursday from 8 to 10 with the Go Live show. Check us out every Saturday night from 10 to 12. And you got 2 different shows, though. You have the Pop-Up with Kandie Promotion, which is, hosted by me. And you also have Mr. Black Magic himself coming in with Rockstar Life. So, hey, check out us here on Instinct. Go on the website, download the app. Make sure you go into every show that's on Instinct and sign up. You didn't know you could do that, did you? Sign up. It'll tell you when the show gonna come on, and it'll pop up and say, hey, we coming on at such and such a time. Yeah, do that. And make sure you sign in and get our girl, Regina Sunshine. She is here every Monday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Regina Sunshine Show. I appreciate you, Miss Sunshine. Yes, that's my girl. She is the Oprah. If you don't know, she is the Oprah of Instinct Radio, and we love you, and thank you so much for coming. And we are
Yes,
actually
thank you.
going to close out with Miss Regina.
God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life.